Well, to mute, that would be great. See, I can mute some people here. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael. I'm an alcoholic. I'm glad you're here. Just a few things to remember as we get started. This is not an AA meeting. It's one member's experience on the exact nature of the wrong as described on page 64 of the AA Big Book and the solutions found within the 12 steps. This meeting is being recorded and it will be uploaded onto YouTube later on. Please remember that this is not an all-share meeting, but rather it is a question and answer period for Paul H's take on the 12 steps. Paul holds various events. You can find those events on his website at zenbitchslap.com. There you'll find events, the t-shirts, his book Under Arrest, and past videos available. To get things underway, Paul, I've chosen a reading from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous on page 66. We're going to go to the bottom of page 66 on the last paragraph. And this was our course. We realized that people who wronged us were perhaps spiritually sick. Though we did not like their symptoms and the way they disturbed us, they, like ourselves, were sick too. We asked God to help us show the same tolerance, pity, and patience that we would cheerfully grant a sick friend. When a person offended, we said to ourselves, "This is a sick man. How can I be helpful to him? God, save me from being angry. Thy will, not mine, be done." We avoid retaliation or argument. We wouldn't treat sick people that way. If we do, we destroy our chance of being helpful. We cannot be helpful to all people, but at least God will show us how to take a kindly and tolerant view of each and every one. I think you can get something out of that, Paul. If not, you can talk about whatever you need to get us started here. I understand we're under a short restraint today, about a half an hour.
We'll see.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Maybe 11:30.
Okay.
We're gonna be leaving. Yeah, whatever. Paul Alcohol. Nice to see everybody. Oh, Jesus, there's Mike and Kerry in the same location. Yes, again, this is obviously speaking to us when we have this predilection, this self-centeredness. So basically things that could come easily if certain conditions were in place seem near impossible with the conditions we're under. So yeah, we've got to look at other people as perhaps sick because we usually didn't look at other people as perhaps sick. So, yeah, we weren't very forgiving or tolerant in our attitude and outlook. So this is basically, like the being brought back to babyhood and then taking your first steps. So we need to sort of take a different attitude, or at least have one presented, because the attitude and outlook, which is we're going to have a new one but this is speaking mostly at the old one, yeah, which is intolerance, thinking everyone's doing it to us and stuff like that, yeah. So when someone is ill, he basically would do what he does to anybody, but of course we take it quite personally, yeah, and so we can't see it from this blindness of self-centeredness, I feel. So yeah, this book is incredible because it's sort of like it talks about this, it's a spiritual kindergarten, yeah. So basically it would be like one of those old schoolhouses where each class is held in the same room, yeah. So there'd be high school kids, kindergarten kids, yes. And basically it doesn't matter if you're in high school or kindergarten when you have when the alcoholism has you, yeah. Basically because we're not really working on Paul and Michael, we're working on the alcoholism, yeah. It's not like Paul and Michael is going to free himself from alcoholism. The program is going to free us from alcoholism, yeah. So this was important because I when I read the third step, the third column, after the first two, when I looked at the names of the people who I thought had offended me or whatever, is I took this attitude. I looked at Wendy as perhaps she's just as sick as I am. Yeah. I looked at this and that. And what happens is it gives you a little space, really. And at that moment or at that time, a little space goes a long way. Yeah. If you could just have a little breathing room, you may be able to see the condition you're actually in. So, yeah, these instructions are quite good. And again, I just want to dwell on the one idea that we're presenting here that may be different than other presentations. I'm sure there are incredibly astute and profound presentations of the steps and of service and of community and of the traditions and the concepts. We're just basically emphasizing one possibility of just looking at what's stated in 64 as almost a way of looking at the rest of the presentation of the book, Being convinced that self manifested in various ways is what has defeated us. So that when we read the word self, it may not just trigger the sense of us. Yeah. Maybe it'll trigger the sense of something other than us. And then the reading will be, I would say, will be quite rich in a lot of ways. Not like it isn't rich before, but just like when I came back from, or when I was listening to these old guys, Joe and Charlie, who used to do the big book seminars. They read the book very slowly and went over it, and they mined and presented a whole lot of stuff I wasn't seeing. Yeah. So I feel this key of reading the book from the idea of self as a foreign pathogen or a parasitical movement or whatever you want to call it, just to have a sense of otherness. And then when you read, like Kirk brings up, the self-imposed whatever, you won't be thinking you imposed it. Something came in and overrided you. Because if you kept imposing all this shit, that would be an example of power, wouldn't it? But the whole point of recovery is the admittance of powerlessness. So if we're manufacturing misery, that seems like there's power there. If we're fucking everything up every day, that seems like there's power there. But it's self-imposed, and the 100 forms of fear, and the selfing, that identification of self is what's allowing the factory of Paul to produce misery. Yeah. So when you read it from that view, it gives you different information. And maybe that different information is just the different information you've been looking for. And maybe it will trigger an illumination of the program and just put it into different lighting. Yes. And an emphasis on the spotlight on you, so to speak. Yeah. The idea of self. And by recognizing maybe, you don't have to recognize you're not a self. What you start recognizing is you're not the thinker. Yeah. These are not your thoughts. You're not doing them. You recognize that a lot of stuff happens through you that you really aren't in the decision-making position. Yeah. If you get a flu, you act completely different than if you're healthy. Yes. So, these things will start becoming obvious. And that's the breaking down of what was called self, is that sense of ownership of a lot of stuff we have nothing to do with. And you'll really see that bridge of mind that you've walked over with such confidence into problems and resentments and relationships and money. You see the my as something else now. You stop before you get to the money and you look at the my. And you stop before you crown another problem yours. You look at the my of it, yeah? And you see that sense of my is the bigger problem. It really is. Because it's preceding all the shit that seems to bring about trouble. It's preceding them all. Yeah? What brings about a lot of trouble is my problem, not a problem. Yeah? My money changes my whole relationship to money than money. Yeah? When I say my money, I'm have to act very crazy around my money. I wish you all to have a lot of money, but I wouldn't want you to have any of my money because I feel if you're rich, I'm going to be poor. And that's that vision of selfing. Yeah. A lot of us don't like to see people really get well because we feel it puts on a bad light on us. So we all want to stay in the same herd. So we'll be feeling really incredible, but I'm still crazy. Don't worry. Yeah. I haven't left the group in a sense. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. So the emphasis again to me is rooted on that statement in page 64, and then bringing that sense of the difference between self and us to the rest of the readings and how you look at things. Yeah. And maybe I would say that view will produce an effect, and I would say it could be coined as traveling lighter. Yeah. And isn't the point relief from the bondage of self? I would say it is. It's relief from the bondage of self. So not having part of the bondage of self is trying to get relief as self. That's one of the biggest bondages of self. Yeah. So now you're relieved of the bondage of self. As a self, you're not relieved. You're relieved from the idea of a self. Yeah. Hallelujah. Really. So I feel like this is the, I think the points not presented need to be presented, not an incredible constantly going over the same points, but certain points that haven't been presented to be presented. Yeah, so that you can hear it and maybe it will ring a bell. Yeah, maybe you'll recognize that something had you didn't have it. Yeah, as my friend John says, alcoholism is a fate-appointed disease. It's not like you did it. Yeah, you went out there to become alcoholic in a way. Yes, it's fate-appointed. This life, this story of Paul had that as part of it. Yeah, and thank God it also has the part of recovering from it. Yeah, yeah. So, all right, Mike. See if anyone wants to share or
Oh,
anything.
sure. Anybody like to have a question answered by Paul, please use the raise hand feature.
It won't be. It may be answered, but definitely not by Paul. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Paul can't even find his socks right now.
Well, if you're going to Hawaii, you don't need socks.
I know, but I need it for the plane.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's a question, Paul, but something, maybe find something in there. Is it, when you were talking about the, like being taken over by alcoholism and, it's really clear. I go to a lot of meetings in AA and, when I'm sitting in the rooms, the Zoom rooms, I can hear how self is manifested in other people in the way that they share and what they say. I can hear it. But when I do the introspection into myself, man, there's a huge veiling of it. And it's almost like it's taxing almost sometimes to go into looking and seeing where like self has manifested itself in my own self. Any pointers, any hints or
Yeah, yes, I do. It's not constantly looking at how self is manifested. You just have the realization self manifests. Yeah.
okay.
And then if you get to see the manifestations, just bring in the six and seven. It's quite easy.
Why?
Michael doesn't have to understand.
Okay.
Michael doesn't have to understand. Michael knows now. He knows that self has defeated him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. Now, when you recognize the activities of selfing, you just bring them the six and seven. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of it isn't even worthy to be brought to six or seven. When you just recognize it, it's not having that much of an effect anymore. It's just like, like the drip, drip, drip. It's lost momentum. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The idea you don't have to keep realizing you're not self. You need to know it. And then it's sort of becomes stabilized in a way. Yeah.
Just by the knowing?
Yes, because if the other stuff may be Michael trying to get out of Michael again.
Ah,
Yeah, now you have a new thing to try to get out of self instead of trying to, trying to get out of self as self. Now you're trying to get out of self as Michael. You're out of self as Michael already. That's the basis. You're out. Yeah. This whole idea of being in is the greatest illusion of them all. You're out of it. Yeah. You're not of it, let's say. Yeah. You're of something else. So it's sort of like the guy who gave me when I was younger and I was in India. He was talking about, and it was just to get a point across: personal presence, spirit, and impersonal spirit. Yeah. And he says, Paul, do you live somewhere in America? I go, yeah. So you have a house? Yeah. Do you work? I go, I try not to, but occasionally. So what do? I paint houses. All right. So he says, now, when you go to the job, do you have to keep remembering that you have a house? Or do you know you have a house? So you know you have a house while you're at work. The work doesn't block you off from that knowledge. Does it? No.
no.
Yeah. So you don't have to be going, I have a house, I have a house, I have a house, I have a house. You have a house. Yeah. You have a place to live. And now you're at another place working. The other place isn't negating you have a house. It's just another place. Yeah.
Okay.
That which makes the house, which is awareness, the awareness is there while you're working. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this isn't really about a lot of work. You already have the way. It's unless you believe bringing the garbage out to the curb is a lot of work. I would say the garbage truck guy has much more of the weight of the work than you do. You just have to remember the day it's coming, bring it out there. Yes? You don't have to tell him and describe every piece of garbage to him. You don't have to tell a big story about the carton of milk. He doesn't give a shit. His job is just to pick it up. He doesn't even care. Yeah, it could be a dead body in there, probably. You wouldn't even know. You don't have to stand there and say, I feel so great that I brought out the garbage. All right, bro, I got other cans to pick up. Just move on with life.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to itemize the stuff. You recognize where it comes from and then you send it back. You can't return it, but the higher power can. It can transform it. So you bring it to the higher power. Hey, I'm entirely ready for this to be reconfigured. You just caught it,
Yes.
That's the thing. The more you're on top of it, the faster you see it, basically. But
Okay.
but there's not far to go with 6 and 7. You basically become irrelevant as soon as you say I'm entirely ready. Hey Ted, just come in the side door. I'm on a Zoom. All right, I can't speak. Don't worry about it. Bye. Oh, that's the guy who's taking us to the airport. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this thing is, we've done all the freaking work in a way, or it's worked on us to a point we're entirely ready. Yeah. Then we're out of the equation basically then, aren't we? We just bring it over 6 and 7, yeah, and go about your day. And what's one of the things you arrive at through the program, trusting the program, don't you?
Yes.
So the faith is already pointing to the winning side. You don't have to drag it there. It's pointed there. The shift has already occurred in you. Yeah. So now you're trusting the infinite much more than the finite self. Yeah. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah. And who is it that says you have to work on Mike so much? It's probably Mike, the one you're not. Yeah.
My head.
Yeah. Okay. The dogs aren't thinking you need to do more work, do they? No.
Just play with them more.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you'll be more available to them when you stop trying to be more available to you. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think I think a lot of conclusions we want to keep putting off, we've already arrived at, really. You realize you're screwed. You realize you're not managerial quality. Yes.
Yep.
There's the willingness. You see what has defeated you through its manifestations, the activity. You can start recognizing it, and more gets revealed. And what gets revealed, a lot of what gets revealed doesn't demand 6 or 7 because you're in that spirit. That's, you're just chilled. But when you see like a message from the old radio station come across the screen, you bring it to bring it to the higher power. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say that's our business at hand after you've been established in sobriety. Yeah, six
Yeah.
and seven. And if you do something stupid, you make amends.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and then improve the one's conscious contact. You don't. The whole point of that isn't to. That's the point, is to improve the conscious contact. It doesn't mean to become great prayers, or it's really the intention is those are vehicles to do what? To improve one's conscious contact. After a while, you'll have a whole fleet of vehicles that will improve one's conscious contact. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Everyone, your dogs, your wife, everything. Yes. You, everything. Yeah. But maybe in the beginning, to get a sense, you got to convince yourself. So praying and meditating, and maybe that will continue the rest of your life, or maybe it won't. Maybe that what you are praying to will become obvious. So maybe you don't have to pray. Yeah. Maybe you'll be like a prayer, so to speak. Yeah.
Uh,
Who knows? But you'll find out. And, what the head will try to do is keep putting a fence around everything. Yeah. And just tell you, all right, that's far enough. Da 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 da. And it wants to keep reasserting the old agenda. But you got enough flavor of, thought and effort is necessary, but not when it comes to being what we are, I don't feel. Yeah. So if I'm sweating and I'm like fucking flexing spiritual muscles, I don't think I'm going anywhere, really. I don't now. So I just feel something's established. The head doesn't want to admit that, and it goes to great lengths to try to act as if that which is established is far away and you're never going to get there, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps trying to position us so it can triangulate us. It wants to locate you, and then it just fucking, the algorithm hits and then the shit comes in, all the thoughts about Michael, never, whatever, or whatever. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's not us. Never has been, never will be. Yeah. I think that's good news.
That's great news.
Yeah. So, and you do great. So you do tons of service for the Zoom and everything. So, obviously people who don't have your interior, shit going on, see us a lot better than we think we are. What does that say? Maybe less, That's, you know, yeah. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be the final arbiter of my own condition. I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like, uh, it's a failed system. Remember, what can it show you? It's failed. When
yeah.
does it show you it? Almost all the time. Where? Right where you are.
Well, hey, Paul, I know you don't have much time left, but we do have Gina. She's had her hand up, and I'd like
I
to
have
have her.
plenty of time.
Okay, Gina, come on in, please.
About 11:30.
Hi, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, cool. So I wanted to comment on what you were saying, Mike, about, I don't remember what you said, but something came to my mind, so I'll just say it. A lot of times I'll be feeling, just great and spacious. And whenever I contract, I'm just noticing it's always a feeling of like not being worthy. Like, there's no way I could be this, maybe everyone else says, but, and you got to just question it every time, but not in a like beating yourself up way. You know what I mean? I just try to notice it, and I don't even try to notice it. There's just a noticing. And yeah, but I'm constantly thinking of crazy shit and I'm noticing it. Like, oh, I'm always thinking people think I'm a drug dealer or I'm homeless, or, and I really don't give a shit if they think that, but I'm noticing that my mind is constantly putting me down, So yeah, but once you notice it, I think it's on its way out. But I feel like it's like so pronounced now because I see it all the time and I feel like, fuck, I've been beating myself up really hard for a long time. So yeah, it's true. It's just, it's hard because that unworthiness comes in, but that's not true.
Well, there you go. There's a perfect example.
Yeah.
I'm entirely ready for this perception of unworthiness to be reconfigured, and I asked that higher power to reconfigure it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old look. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Usually I just want to shove something in there. I want to shove a drink or smoke a joint or whatever, but
for sure. And then you say, okay, I'm entirely ready because you don't want to end up there. So you want to go to another destination and you don't know how to get there. Okay, I'm entirely ready. Yes, here you go. And after it shows you a number of times,
yeah.
those underlying feelings that get triggered by the yapping will change. You'll feel like, to me, a lot of us, we're on our own hook. There's a lack of permission and, of course, riffing on the unworthiness. And you can come off that hook. Something takes you off that hook through
Yeah.
through the working of the spirit. And then what life wants to offer you, you're there to receive. Yeah.
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 You show up.
Yeah. I mean, if people want to be nice to me, far out. Yeah. Oh, please don't. No, sure. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, we're all frauds and everything as an action figure. So, I mean, really, let's get over this idea that I'm not enough. Of course, we're not enough.
That puts a lot of pressure being fake every single day. And it's really glaring because like when I still have to put on the fake a lot, and it makes me really like feel weird.
Well, again, that which feels weird isn't even you, eh? So therefore,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
something else arising. Yeah.
Hey, you're a fraud, I'm a fraud. Everyone's a fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you're not a fraud, is when you admit you are one. Really.
Exactly. But it's humbling. Yeah, it's groovy.
Yeah, humbling is yeah.
It's where to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, when you describe something so well, you know, I know you haven't been introduced to recovery, but you could look at this book called The Big Book, and they have a thing about step 6 and 7, which is only a paragraph or two, but it's really what you do, almost a lifelong thing in recovery, because when alcoholism is revealed by hearing it from another or in your own feeling, wherever, then you can bring that alcoholism to that higher power and have it change. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is like I think someone said here, Mickey, about, what do you discard, something like that. It's all about turning, it's like this idea of turning stuff over. But it's an activity called 6 and 7. It isn't like me just, I'm going to turn this over. I turn it over to this power, through those. And I like to use the way it's said. I just change one word. I don't believe remove works in energy, because energy doesn't go anywhere. But I know energy can be reconfigured. Yeah. So basically, this old idea that I'm not enough and therefore I've got to say no to a lot of life's deliveries, that's totally insane. I mean, that's 101 selfing in a way.
Yeah.
So basically, that power that's greater than us sees us in a much broader light. And it will take us, no matter what we bring, entirely ready if we just bring it to 6 and 7. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not so, you notice it and then just bring it somewhere. Yeah. Or allow it to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Notice
it's like
it sometimes can turn into self-knowledge, and that self-knowledge is not going to avail you much. You're just going to know you're fucked, but you're still getting fucked. It doesn't, this is a different kind of activity. It's becoming aware of something and bringing it to that which, can do something with it, can change it, can use it to be beneficial to myself and to others. Yes. Yeah. I've seen the recycling of lives through recovery by the higher power. It's just unbelievable. So why wouldn't you want that, have all of you, the good and bad, and let it do what it's going to do with it. Yeah, you'll find out. You're in good hands. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gina, thank you. Nice to see you again. Yeah.
All right, do we have any other hands up for today? I know you're dying to unmute and come in and ask a question. Don't be shy.
We can always say goodbye.
No.
We can always say goodbye. That should be the theme song of the Zen Bit Slap Zooms.
All right. Oh, wow. Look at here. We got all kinds of questions. We have Annette. Annette has her hand up. Come on in, Annette.
All right. Where's it? I see Annette. I see her head.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, sorry. I'm in my kitchen. I have a question because, a lot of things in recovery processes encourage the examination of ourselves. So a lot of people, who are used to that, I imagine they give you some pushback. How do you manage that?
Well, I see self as something foreign to us. Other people see it as them.
Right.
So when I'm looking at self, I'm not looking at me. I'm not trying to learn about me. I'm trying to learn about what I'm not. And I've had tons of pushback, but what the hell? Yeah. To each his own. If you want to see something as you, far out. I just want to provide a possibility to hear something else. It may land well. Yeah. So the whole premise of these talks, these Zooms, is that in this category, self is an activity called selfing. Yes. It's of the mental nature where the problem resides. And therefore, the mental processes are infected with alcoholism. Yeah. So what you're calling self is an image held by the mental state and reinforced by the mental state that you're a long-lasting, independent, separate thing, that you are the doer of everything that happens to you. You are the thinker of all the thoughts. You are the feeler of all the feelings. I just don't agree with that.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, no other questions right now, Paula?
And it doesn't mean it doesn't feel that way, because we're under the sway of an activity that has us convinced that we're that which it's talking about. Yeah. It's almost like the greatest strategy a parasite could have, that it convinces the host that it's the host. Yeah. So therefore the host, its true great ability in relationship to the parasite is that it's not the parasite. So it could throw it off. It could have it removed. It could get away. But when that's taken away from it, when the host takes itself to be the parasite, where is their freedom in that? Yeah. You'll try to be free as the parasite, captured in the statement in our community, self can't get out of self. It's that simple. Yeah. Are there two selves? Yeah. Or are there no selves, really? So that's what we're sharing here. We're not saying we're not attacking any other view. I mean, whatever view brings about long-lasting relief, I'd fucking pledge allegiance to it to some level. But if there seems to be a lack of relief in the participants in the act of recovering from something, then maybe we need a different diagnosis. Yeah, maybe something that could be clearer to what's really the problem. Yeah, because if we keep trying to get out of the problem as the problem, that's the greater problem. Yes. Yeah. So that's basically the point coming here for many reasons, but that's basically the point. I'm not like, oh, do you know that on page 93, it was supposed to be a comma, not a period? I don't, that's not what I'm into. I'm into something, I'm not a studier of the letters. The flavor, there's something that goes on that turns a resentment into something completely different when it's called my resentment. I'm interested in that. I'm interested how a two-letter word could have such influence on what comes after it. Yeah. Money, problem, girlfriend, this, that, life. Yes. My life, my girlfriend, my money. It seems to have a usually different meaning if that my is emphasized before it. Yeah. What is it? I would think that that should sort of call for a little bit of inspection to see what's going on. How can I do great with a girlfriend, and as soon as she's my girlfriend, I'm up on stalking charges in a few months? What changes the whole situation with that word my? And you know what? I feel we missed the my when it comes to the identification as self. We're living the effects of it without knowing it. Yeah. The self has given meaning to our life. It's made things seem as threatening when they weren't. It provides a lot of false evidence and misperception. Yeah. It's as if we're living by a whole other agenda, and that ours is never even taken into consideration or heard. Yeah. I would think, how could we go another day without that being looked at a little bit? Yeah. I mean, isn't it the most influential aspect? that you and I give everything all the meaning it has, as it's stated in the Course in Miracles? That we're dreaming, really. Yeah. If you want to call it real, all right, it's a real dream, but it's dreaming. Because when I meet something, I give meaning to it. And I change whatever it is by the meaning I give it. Yeah? That sounds like dreaming to me. Active dreaming. Now, if something's dreaming through me and I'm having to live its nightmare, I would like to wake up from it. I want to put down the mistake of trying to get out of self as self. I do. It doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. If I recognize I'm not that, tons of possibilities show up. And one of them is I can be free from it. I can be free from it. Yeah. I don't know exactly how that's going to look, but I know it's brought about. I do. Freedom from the bondage of self. Yes. We're not giving you a step-by-step thing. That's offered in AA. We're just trying to give a diagnosis. Yeah. So you don't get caught in the overriding statement of self can't get out of self. What is going to happen if you keep trying to get out of self? It's going to prove unsuccessful. Why? Self can't get out of self. That's explained in like a 3-minute seminar. Yeah. So there you go. I'm so happy to see everybody. And we have any other?
Yes, Paul, we have Eligio has his hand up.
What time is it now?
It's 11:13.
All right. All right. Alicio.
Okay. Eligio.
Okay. It's okay if you don't have time, Paul. But I wasn't going to say anything, but so then my assignment for A is to describe what my HP is and what my HP is not. But then, like what you just said, is like if you put the word "my" in front of it, it changes the
Yes.
the higher power becomes the
I'll
me.
give you a simple thing. The HP is not you in this role. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
As long as it's
Okay.
not you, it has the quality of HP-ness. Yeah.
So what about making it mine?
There you go. And
I cannot make it mine either.
but you can have an idea of it, and then as you get established in it, it's going to reveal to you. You'll lose the idea of wanting to have a higher power of your own understanding. You'll realize a higher power of its own understanding. Yeah, it's quite different. Yes. Being had by a higher power of its own understanding is quite powerful. Yeah. Yes. All right.
All right. Last one real quick is PK.
Yes, make it very quick, PK. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks for holding the space considering the circumstance. I just wanted to ask you a question. You had that great story, one of your greatest hits about I can never come back based on that. I never left. But now
Yeah.
you just said something before. You said we always can say goodbye. Now, so is there a follow-up to that? Because in other words, we already said hello, or we have nothing to say, or everything that's said is already said, or it's not us that's saying it.
No, it was just sort of a joke. It sounded like a good song.
Yeah, I was trying to think if that was a song, what would be the we can never leave, because we're already there. But in this case, we can always say goodbye.
We can always say goodbye because we're never leaving. Yeah.
All right, my man. Well, thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Have a great trip, man.
Yeah. All right. Let me say, PK, always love to see you, bro. Take it easy.
All right, brother.
Yeah. We've got Kerry. Kerry, I'll be seeing you sooner than later.
All right. And Michael,
Make sure
too.
you check out the plane schedule just in case it gets changed. We're going to look it up now. All right.
All right. Text me.
And I make sure you open the door on the left side of the limousine. I like to enter in that way.
I pass the Deutsche to the left-hand side. I'm
All
teasing.
right, thank you. Thank you. All right, we got not manageable. Yes, there he is. Nice to see you. Yeah. You're doing well, not manageably. Yeah. There you go. Mickey, nice to see you. And we'll be here Thursday. Everything's going to continue. We'll just be doing it from somewhere else. We got Mickey, nice to see you, honey, as always. We got Gina. Gina's, yeah, there you go, Gina. Roman, there he is from German. And Barbara, I see, is lurking on the right. Yeah, there she is. Nice to see you, Barbara. Not see you. I see your left eye. Yeah, there you go. Hey, see you. We got Ruby from Kansas. Oh, Wichita, Kansas. I forgot. Yes. We got Paul from Ireland. Annette. I don't know exactly where Annette's from. Yeah. But you want to let us know, hon?
Sorry, I couldn't get my button. I'm from outside of Philly in Chester County near Valley Forge Park.
Oh, great, great. Nice to see you. I go there a lot, actually.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah. We got George and the iPad. There he is, I think. Yes. We got Eligio, the baby, king baby. There you go. He's going. He's still alive. That's good. Michael S. Thank you for the service, Michael. Lost him again. We've got, let's see, hold on. We got Don O. Nice to see you, Don. Joseph from France. We got Alex and Jacob. There they are. Nice to see you. Yeah. We got the Walter H. from the Netherlands. Tommy from Ireland, I think. Chris from Mammoth. There he is. We got Terry in Maine. Rich, I think, from the UK. We got Jess from Ireland. We got iPhone. Jack G. Oh, Jack G dropped in. Nice to hear, Jack, or see him, or not see him. Deirdre, nice to see you, or not see you. Hey, thanks, everyone. I'll see you Thursday, tomorrow night, Wednesday. It's all the same. It's Tuesday at 4:30 is not happening today on the Awakening Together. We forgot to look at the website, but they know. But so there's no 4:30 Pacific time today meeting, but everything else goes, and next week it will be. All right. See you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Paul.
Paul.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Nice work, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Hail the
Thank
HPness.
you, Michael.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Mike.
See you
Thank
guys.
you, Michael, for your
Have
answer
a
to my
good one,
question.
guys.
That's cool.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah, I'll talk to Paul by Thursday and I'll have an answer. Come back on Thursday.
I'm trying.
Okay. Or I can give you my number if you'd rather. Okay.
Good job, Michael.
Thanks, Vicky. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Man, I'm jealous now of Carrie and Mike,
No,
Paul.
no. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
No, I'm teasing.
yeah.
Judith is
Not in Hawaii. No pressure.
No, it's no pressure. It's just, you know, it's a lot. Yeah, it's all good. What can I say?
What beach are you going to take them to boogie board at?
I don't know. Maybe Richardson. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll just play it by ear. I have no
Yeah.
plans, really.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but no, Judith cooked a beautiful breakfast this morning. That was nice. She's getting ready. There's a lot to get ready, but yeah, it's all good. So hey, thanks for that link you sent me, Mike.
Yeah, did you get anything from that?
I didn't go on it. Was it over? I just saw the link. I was so busy. I just got off work. I was working the last few days.
Okay.
Was it
All
already
right.
passed? I just saw the
No,
link.
It's the International Men's it's the AA International Men's Conference.
Is it going on right now?
No, it's in April. You can sign up for it now, though.
Okay, okay. Are you signed up?
Yes,
All right. Yeah, I haven't even had a chance to check it out yet, but I will.
yeah, the 20th to the 22nd or something like that,
Very cool.
or the 24th or something like that. Yeah.
So is PK still on?
PK's still here, yes.
PK.
Mahalo.
What's going on?
I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you.
Oh man. What else you got?